then you'll be fine. Just pick a spot. You'll probably have a great time. It's just Escondido. It's just like you never know. You know what I mean? What you're gonna get. It's hood, bro. Literally was gonna fight somebody the other day. He said, "Why are you following me, dude?"
Damn, dude.
I'm glad we're recording.
Hell yeah.
Oh my god, dude.
Well, I don't even know how to start this podcast after that glorious intro of trying to find a bar for later on after we hang out with our sober friend for the day.
Yeah.
Why'd you make Taylor get beer? You know, I feel awkward
because
doing
I
this.
wanted you to be loose. You know what I mean? I didn't want to be like talking about sobriety the whole time or some bullshit. You know what I mean?
You know what's
And
crazy?
plus, you're fun when you get a little tipsy, dude.
I don't look at you as like the sober guy anymore. It's like it's not your personality.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
I had to work on it for a long time because the whole thought process, like when you're first getting sober, is like, oh, you're not going to have any fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Your life is going to be over, you know? And so I just act like I was when I was using, but just in a better version, you know? Because I know for a fact, it's like, dude, I'm coming up on 10 years clean. So, dude, there's no way I would even be sitting here in my house, you know, if I was still using, you know? I was like bottom of the barrel kind of guy, so. But yeah, I'm like, dude, Jace, you're so much fun when you just have a couple sipsos. You know what I mean? Like, come on with it.
Well, that's what I was kind of thinking. I was like, you know what? When you know, like becoming sober is like one of those things that I feel like, and this is a completely outside perspective. I'm not even like, this is just my dumbass opinion.
Yeah.
For a while, it seems like it becomes someone's personality, but I think it has to be. Is that correct? Mm-hmm. And then, you know, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like someone's trying to, you know, put themselves on a better path and you want to be supportive of that. But then, you know, it's like you feel bad to be around them if you're going to drink or you're going to, you know, partake in any fun guys activities. And then, but like I said, I feel like there's some people that get to that point of their sobriety where they just maybe on the outward projection of themselves, I don't feel like it's making anything. It feels like you're in control of your environment to where everything can be normal on the outside and it's not really affecting you on the outside. It could be in the inside. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I actually have friends that are like, they won't go to bars. They won't be around. Their family members can't, you know, drink in front of them. And I feel like, and this is just my opinion, it's like people that have reservations still, or they still have thoughts of using, you know, and that's why they just like, you know, keep it away. You can't just keep it away. You're going to be around it. I mean, everywhere that you go, there's alcohol. I mean, now, especially California, there's fucking weed stores on every goddamn corner.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so, but yeah, I just like try to be somewhat normal, you know? And for me, it was like, I just surrendered to the fact, knowing that I couldn't do it anymore, to where it made it okay, you know? And I don't want to make people feel uncomfortable because it's like, dude, I'm the addict, not you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm the one that's the problem. It's so funny. I used to like say the wildest things though. Be like, well, beer was never my problem, but if you have some heroin, you know what I'm saying? Like,
that's the Dustin I know.
You know what I mean? I might get into that, you know? And people be like, what the fuck is wrong with this dude? You know? So,
oh, I don't know that Dustin. I know the joke Dustin when you would say that. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, you got the meth pipe, little bit fucking 10 to 2, dog. You know what I mean? We're cool, you know? But
man, well, yeah, it's probably, that's definitely a different thing. Every time I think me and Taylor had said this one time, I think it was you. I was like, every time I think I have a problem with alcohol, I think of like my friends that have been real hardcore into some shit. I'm like, I think I'm good. Kind of. Maybe.
Yeah, Taylor says that all the time. Like, he's like, man, I'm done drinking. I'm like, all right, cool. You know what I mean?
Dude, he did good last fall though. Mm-hmm. He stayed almost how many days? Yeah, that's pretty good. You were trying to do 180 or 90?
Trying to do 90, then I went to your house.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude. It was rough.
I know. I saw the story and he's like carrying a 12-pack. I'm like, well, he did pretty good, you know?
70 days is pretty hardcore. It's roughly 2 months almost, you know, ish. So, but yeah, you know, not to bring it up, but since we're talking about it, it's like, my wife and my wife doesn't drink nearly as much as I do. And I'm still kind of like one of those, like I can hang it up for a while. Right. You know what I mean? Not that long, but if I need to go a week without drinking, that's fine. But when we have people that have reached out that wanted to come and, come to Dallas, hang out and do stuff, but they don't drink, I'm like, I have no fucking clue what to do. Like, where do we go? Because Dallas is one of those towns where the bar scenes, the restaurants with the bars, that it's a town for that kind of environment. You know what I mean? So it's really, we don't have nature. It's not like, hey, we're going to go on a hike, can't go to the beach. We can go to bars and patios, you know what I'm saying? So
what do you do then? You know what I mean?
I work. You come in to hang out at the shop, man.
It's like, but for like people that are coming into town, it's like, what do you do? You have to say like, hey, this is what we do,
Yeah.
Right. This is what you want to hop on board or.
Well, I mean, if we're going to host somebody in town, show them the city, it's just kind of like, hey man, what are you into? That way, I mean, I can hang out with people and not drink. I mean, I actually like it every once in a while whenever I don't feel pressure to,
Mm-hmm. But we pressured them. We pressured you today.
Literally, I was going to wait till we got to the bar later. And then,
yeah. Like, I said, Taylor, pick up a 12-pack, dude.
Yeah. But no, it's been fun. But dude, like, it's been how many years now since y'all started LFG?
5 years.
5 years.
So we just hit 5, yeah.
Damn, so technically you started LFG like while you were in 5 years into your sobriety, huh?
Yeah. And that was like the whole motto behind the name of the brand, you know what I mean? And just like, let's fucking go is like, get on with your life and like really kick things forward because, for the longest time, there was always that crutch, you know what I mean? And that crutch was like dope, and that was first priority. And then when I got clean, obviously, well, not obviously, like I had Graf and Rafa, so there was 2 other guys that were part of LFG, and it was Graf's idea to start a clothing brand. And I'm like, cool, so what are we going to name it? You know what I mean? He's like, LFG's cool. I'm like, that is kind of cool. And it kind of just fits into like our recovery too, And we intentionally never made it to where it was like, oh, we're going to be in the motorcycle community. Like the motorcycle community like surrounded us, I mean, it was mostly going to be like our friends in recovery, because that was the, motto, like, let's fucking go, what I mean? Of your life and recovery and moving forward and stuff. And then, we just started doing a few rides. So it just happened, COVID happened and everybody was on lockdown and we were just like, fuck you, like Julian, where you guys are, going to ride up to, like they were so worried about people contaminating Julian that they had sheriffs like blocking the road where you couldn't even go through there. And we had a pack of bikes just ripping right through them. What I mean? We're riding to Borrego, but man, it was it was a fun time. I thought COVID was great.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
Hindsight?
Like no fucking
not a
cops.
bad time.
Yeah. No cops.
And if they were cops, they weren't pulling you over.
Hell no. No.
Dude, you know how long I used my registrations out? I'm sorry, I didn't know the registration was open for at least a year and a half afterwards.
Yeah.
So,
fuck yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I think about it so much, dude. I'm like, wow. I luckily, everything happened at the right time because people were just like, they were sitting at home. So they were just buying shit online.
Yeah.
So every little shirt drop that we had, people were buying. Man, it's been a fucking wild ass ride though.
Yeah.
5 years. It seems like a lot longer, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I remember doing the podcast with you guys 2020. I guess it was 2022. Yeah, 2022. Mm-hmm. Down at y'all were still in San Diego, Harley Davidson, and it's wild, man. It when you say the word 2022 or 3 or 4, it does not feel as far back as it actually is in theory. So it's like when I think of 2020, I think about that like, oh, that was like 2 years ago. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It does not feel like it. Yeah.
I know that, man. When you came on that show, so we weren't actually there. We had fucking Jace coming into town, and so we asked the dealership. That was before we had a studio. We were still doing it right here at my pad. Yeah. So, well, not this house, but anyways. But we're like, yeah, we got Jace coming into town. We got to have some place. You know what I mean? Cool. You know what I mean?
You guys church me up too much, man.
And
I love it.
So we asked them. Yeah. So we asked them, we're like, hey, we have a big guest coming. Do we mind using, can we use something? They're like, yeah, fuck yeah. That was sick as fuck.
That was the first time I'd ever been to San Diego, Harley, I think. Yeah. I mean, dude, that's always weird, but
yeah.
How is going forward, like with the brand, like how has it been? Like just kind of like, it seems like you guys are on top with like periodic drops. You're involved in the community heavy. It feels like when Taylor got down here, it really kind of made it like you guys are like the umbrella is like just good people, but it's like a couple of your brands that all kind of fuck with each other that are just like solid. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, it's so great having someone else that I'm close to that has a brand, because we push each other, and like creatively, I'm not that great, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like having two other people involved with the brand, because you can just bounce things off of one another.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's why it was successful. You know what I mean? And I noticed like when they left, like I had to like sink or swim, right? And I'm like, no, I really want to do this. You know what I mean? I put a lot of time and effort and money and blah, 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 and so when all that left, it was like, I hit a spot to where I was like, man, what do I do? You know what I mean? Like the podcast shit. I mean, it really wasn't my thing. I enjoyed doing it and interviewing people. But anyway, so then Taylor and I, he moved down here, and then it was just like, bam, off and running and doing events and having someone that's going to drive and push you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's just where literally like I tell him this all the time too. Like, he's made me a better friend to people because he communicates so well.
He does, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he will make sure that we're friends, you know what I mean? And talk and call.
It makes it easy to be a friend.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I'm
Makes you do all
still
the hard
working
work.
on that too. You know what I mean? I'm still working on that, like reaching out to people. And
I'm not like that, man. I think that when someone does it more to me, I'm more conscious of it. And so I do it more.
Yeah.
But there's times I'll go a week and my phone doesn't ring or no text from anybody that's not my kids or my wife. And I'm like, well, shit, like that's my life right now,
Right.
But yeah, he's the dude that's like, fuck, Taylor's FaceTime me at 11:30 at night. All right, babe, we were going to go do the thing after dinner, but I'm going to go get on the FaceTime. And by the time I get off, it's like my wife's been asleep. She's already on her fourth dream. You know what I'm saying? Right. So it's like, thanks, Taylor.
Yeah. Well, see, that happens often.
Could have just waited 50 seconds.
Yeah, I would have just not answered it. You know what I mean? Because I'm smacking boots, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll call him tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's all good. You know what I'm saying?
Literally, that's on the way out here that fucking night, getting to Dwayne's house, and then a quick little FaceTime. Hey, I just got to Dwayne's house turns into what, 3.5 hours?
Yeah, dude, it's.
Yeah, dude, I had to put a battery pack on my shit.
Yeah, it was good. That's what it's all about, though. You know what I mean? When you just start breaking bread with people, and it's like, damn. And I never really. I've seen Dwayne plenty of times, but he's fucking funny. Yeah. He's
got a different type of sense of humor. And I feel like when you get a lot of different people together that have different types of ways they cut jokes and do things, but they can all take it the same way, then you have like the best like melting pool of like personalities to just have a good time. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, right from the jump, you know what I mean? Taylor's talking shit because we're bald, you know what I mean? That just made it, I'm like that. Hey, it's so funny though, man. Like I have a couple friends, like they used to talk shit, like, damn, you're going bald, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? And now they're going bald. I'm like, see what happens when you talk shit, motherfucker?
Yeah, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Quick.
You know what I mean? You're going to age, dog. Don't trip. Full ass head of hair.
He's on those hymns right now or some shit. Trying to keep that stuff alive.
Yeah, try to keep it going.
Be a real man. Go bald like a real man, dude.
Yeah. Fuck. Get so much pussy, it's not even funny.
Yeah, dude. So much puss, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been fun. Like I said, basically when we did that podcast last summer on yours, you know what I'm saying? Meeting him and then shooting shit all night. And then it's definitely brought us closer, I think. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. I was thinking about that the other day too. But that's what I'm saying. That's the beauty behind Taylor. You know what I mean? Like all these people that I've met in the scene right now are all through him. You know what I mean? Like the shows that I'm doing and the events that I'm doing. It's all because, I met Taylor and we palled up and we're doing shit together. You know?
Yeah.
Which is rad because the people that he associates himself with are the people that I want to be around. You know what I mean? So it's like, I mean, I know some pretty shitty people. So it's like, you know what I mean? I don't want to really
I feel like the shitty guys, and trust me, I have my fair share of them too, but like when everybody that's cool gets together and they start all growing together and they stay that way, it's just obvious. You know what I mean? The whole idea behind things kind of changed and morphs into, I want to be there because I want to be around these people. And then, oh yeah, there's also a bike event there that we're going to try to make some money at, or, you know, push our brand. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah, I mean, having a clothing brand is like literally one of the toughest things, dude.
Oh yeah, I can imagine.
It's just ridiculous. It's like people start it all the time and then it just fizzles out, you know, which is kind of irritating. It's like people that start podcasts too. That only thing I always say to people is like, just stay consistent, you know, keep doing it, because it draws so many people to, like, I think we talked about this on my show when you came on, but it's like, man, if you're going to just do it and you're building this hype, and fucking do it. You know what I mean?
The hype building is the easy part.
Yeah.
You know, the consistency and showing up to it every day, even those days you don't want to or whatever, that's where it gets tough. But, you know, like what now, right now, I feel like both you guys are in this position where you're kind of realizing you kind of got to do what I did and start learning how to be your own boss in every aspect of it, to where you have complete control over all the nuances of your podcast, from, you know, just like you have the equipment now, but you also need to get to where you have the ability to do it all, you know, and it's tough. Like, fortunately, there's, you know, I figured out some things to help people with, but there's also like YouTube, you know, but it is another fucking job, man. It's not turn these mics on, crack open a beer and just talk about your problems. You know, that's the easier part. You know what I'm saying?
Podcasting is extremely hard.
Yeah.
Because not everyone is a conversationalist.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And like, I've had so many people come on to where I'm like, oh, dude, this is going to slap, dude.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, so what's your favorite color?
Yeah. You're just
really, you like dogs? You know what I mean? Like, just wild things to where I'm like, damn. And then it kind of made me proud of myself. I'm like, wow, I can actually do it. You know, you can hold a conversation, or even like real quick. It's like I tell people, because, you know, with my show, it's a, you know, industry, but recovery based. So it's like, hey, look, if we start talking about something that you feel uncomfortable, like, just say, hey, I don't feel comfortable talking about that. And then I'll, boom, go to something else. You know what I mean? My attention deficit like kicks in real quick, and I'm like, boom, 10 more things that just kept popping in my head. You know?
And that's when you listen to people and you're actually taking it in, you'll find those deeper questions, because you actually want to know. Yeah. You know, and I've always said that that's kind of like the, you know, if you don't have all the questions on the table before you do a podcast, like, oh, I read your book last week and here's my notes I want to talk about. Like, dude, like, hey, how'd you get in this? What was your motivation? And then you extract from that response, you know? Yeah. And some people are, like you said, better conversationalists. So they know how to keep the ball rolling, keep the flow rolling. Like, not to be so awkward that they're acknowledging the camera, the microphones, but they're acknowledging the fact that, like, we got to go. We got to keep this growing. We can't sit here and go, well, what do you want to talk about now? Yeah, right. You know, because that sounds, that makes it seem like you're bored. Yeah.
Well, it's been a great show. You know, I mean, thanks for tuning in. Yeah, I mean, it's, honestly, it's extremely difficult, but luckily, like, talking with you, and you've given me so many pointers, or listening to your podcast, it's like, wow, you know, you think so far outside the box when you're asking questions to people, you know. It's pretty cool to hear, like, you know, when people find my podcast, they'll say, oh, like, this happened numerous times. Like, I listened to Jace, you know what I mean? And then how the rhythm works, it's boom, my podcast came up, you know, and people start listening, and then it's like recovery, you know, and it's really cool to hear. Like, for me, it's like, damn, I'm in that same category as you are, you know what I mean? In a sense, you know what I'm saying? Like, people are listening to my show too, and I'm like, wow, that fucking makes me feel good, you know? Because
I'm just trying to make me horny right now.
Yeah, dude. Fuck yeah. Are you drunk yet?
Well, I really do appreciate all that, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's like, you know, it's just like something you want to share. Yeah. The knowledge, like I want to be a gatekeeper in many things in this world. I want to be. Like, I only want certain people to experience certain things because they earned it, you know. And helping people out with their podcast is kind of one of those. Like, I want to help you if you're showing me that you actually want to do this. Right. But I'm not the dude that wants to answer a fucking easy and lazy text message on Instagram, like, hey man, I'm thinking about starting a podcast. What do I do? And I'm like, bro, I mean,
what do you do?
I mean, where are you at? Like what are we doing?
Just be
here?
like, Joe, check this out. Go look at yourself in the mirror.
Yeah.
Say, can I do this? Real quick. Can I do this? And if you're already doubting yourself for a moment, don't do it. Because it's a lot of work.
When I did the podcast with you and you interviewed me, I felt like you asked a lot of really good questions. And it's one of those deals where like, it was kind of one of the first podcasts I'd done for somebody else that I felt like, wow, like I was being asked questions and it wasn't quite a regurgitation of my life. You know what I mean? So, I mean, obviously like the whole podcast space and motorcycles and stuff have been around for quite a while. So a lot of times, you know, when someone asks you to come on a podcast, it becomes the whole, so man, let's go to step 1 and then finally we'll get to step 30. Right.
Right.
And I mean, I felt like I kind of got kind of good at telling the story or, you know, the cliff notes or versions of it that I felt like were most interesting. It's almost like working on a bit, if you will.
Right. Right.
But it was also like, I like doing the podcast where you're kind of just, you're talking about life here and now because this thing becomes a timestamp for the future. You know what I mean? And you never know, man. Like, you know what fucking really blew me away? And I think I've already talked about it, so I'm sorry. But so Jerry Covington passed away, amazing bike builder. And right before Arizona Bike Week, his wife was there going to Arizona Bike Week to set up. And she asked me for a link to the podcast that we had done together because she wanted to hear her husband's voice. Oof. Yeah, dude. I was like, on this way.
Yeah.
Like that shit was heavy to me. I was like, man, yeah, this could just be another couple of dudes talking about, you know, whatever the fuck's on the menu today. But, you know, at the end of the day, for like our friends and our loved ones, this could be like a lasting, you know, if you're kids.
Straight up.
You know what I mean?
I say that all the time, Jace, like all the time. And it sounds like so ego, but I have to, when I talk about it, it's like there's no ego. Like I don't have anything of my dad besides pictures. You know what I mean? And he died before, you know, all of the cell phone and, you know what I mean, and video and blah, blah, blah. But, well, they've always had, you know, VHS and shit. But that's one of the reasonings why I did the podcast and, like, did it start doing it again.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, dude, I want my kids to be able to, like, if something happens to me, you know what I mean? Like, to have something.
Yeah.
You know, and especially to be proud of or to be like, that's my retarded ass dad. You know what I mean? Like, which probably would happen. You know?
I mean, honestly, if I had my grandfather had some shit that he recorded that he did, I would 100%, even if it was 100 hours of content, you know, like I'd watch that. Oh, I mean, not a day, but you know, I'd consume it over time and, you know, appreciate that.
It's like some people think, you know, if they do something like this, it's like, oh, well, my name's going to be here forever, you know, which that could be the case, you know, but that's not my thought process. My thought was like, this is for my family, you know, that way it's like they can have something, you know, even when it's, you know, going back to YouTube, you know, which is fucking difficult, by the way.
Yeah.
God damn, that's a lot of work.
It is, but we're going to get you guys through it.
Yeah. It's really difficult.
Yeah. But I mean, back to like just talking about that interview we did together.
Yeah.
I think I told Taylor that I was like, man, I feel like you were really good at asking questions that I didn't see coming.
Right.
Or taken in a direction that it made me feel like you 100% were listening.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that as a guest of a podcast, that makes me feel like way more connected to the episode because I feel like it's, you know, it feels like it's a genuine conversation, not just like, hey, this guy has X amount of followers. If I get him on to get him to speak some shit, he's going to be able to maybe get some followers on. There's an ulterior motive there. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
They're not actually interested in you.
And we had some great like segments too.
Yeah.
I mean, dude getters, bro.
That shit was fire, dog.
Like, what the fuck?
That's what we out here doing, baby. So I took him to that hotel, baby. I'm trying to get these.
Dude, I was about to say, man, like, you want to just come on over here or what?
Nah. That's another one. We're going to do another one for that one.
Yeah. God. I mean, honestly, when you guys said, or when you said, we're like, well, maybe we're just going to set up the podcast while we're in the spa, you know what I mean? A jacuzzi.
I wish we would have done it. I wish we would have done that in hindsight. But in the moment, I think we were too much in a foreign place to have that kind of control over the moment.
Sure.
You know?
You guys were just living in the moment. Yeah.
Dude, we were exploring.
Did you video a lot of it? Like
I think so. I haven't gone back
sex maze?
I got the sex maze down. I went back and got video of it during the day. That's what I was posting.
Yeah.
But yeah. Yeah, it was creepy at night. It was kind of creepy during the day too, because you're like, do they wash these beds? Do they wear shoes while they fuck?
I don't know. What a fucking experience, huh? What a way to live.
It was sick though.
There's that comedian that his bit was like, man, I like going to gay bars, you know? He's like, you know, guys flirt with me. They have great conversations. They know what I like. You know what I mean? I'm like, all right, well, that makes sense, you know?
The only thing that would have made it more awkward is if the two guys that were into each other that were there would have came and gotten the hot tub with us and like assumed that because we were also there, we're gay.
Absolutely.
And would have just like said, hey, so what brand, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
almost like we've already done it. Do you guys want to do it now?
Yeah. Or they'll just be like, they'll look at you, be like, hey, you guys want to fuck?
Because they're dudes. They don't beat around the bush.
No, hey, let me jerk you off.
Yeah.
Real calm and collective. You know what I mean? Like
Taylor looks at me if it's okay.
I've been waiting for this moment forever.
Like, bro, it's like a hand's a hand, right?
Yeah, right.
Just not when they got callous.
No eye contact, dude. No eye contact.
But yeah, it was an experience. And honestly, man, the thing that I'm more concerned about on that whole trip was the fact that everybody that I told I was going to Palm Springs and knew Palm Springs was a place for weirdos never said anything.
Yeah.
They never like, oh man, you know, it's a little fruity over there or something like that, you know? They're just like, yeah, sick, dude. You're gonna have a good time.
Yeah, take a lot of photos. Yeah, take a lot. It's gonna be great. Yeah, that's what I said. I'm like, oh, you guys are in for a treat, dude.
It was
that's like the capital.
It was a shock, man.
Yeah, it's the capital right there.
But it's like I don't care, gay or not. I'm not like a fuck that. You know, it's a man and a woman. I'm not really that. I don't give a shit what people do, right? But it is still funny.
Oh fuck yeah, it is.
It's kind of like a fart sometimes.
Yeah.
It's really like, you know, everybody else see?
Hey, you see all that? Yeah, totally. You smell that? Yeah, that shit's smooth, boy. Yeah, I mean, honestly, when I was, you know, hearing the story, I was like really hoping for some graphic details of like, you know what I mean, just a fuck palace going on over here or something, dude. But the sign that says no sex in the pool, like, frame that bitch.
Yeah, we tried. I think we were gonna take it, but it was like, I feel like you would have tried to peel it off the wall. It would have just crumbled. It was like laminated on its last leg.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, I think most places that have pools, it's not. I mean, as men, we always want to get with our old ladies in anything like that. Yeah. But I think people know it's not. The etiquette is not to. But when you're at a sex palace, it's kind of like, oh man, we can't fuck in the pool anymore. This
but we
is
can
bullshit.
go right here on the side, though. You know, what I mean?
On the bed.
Yeah, on
next
the bed.
to it.
Yeah, I wonder why that is. I mean, there's filters in the pool, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like chlorine.
Yeah, the chlorine is gonna kill the shit. You know
like anything's gonna. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, but you also couldn't have any electronic devices close to the pool. So I mean,
well, that's a bummer. Yeah, I was really hoping for. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really want to go back and see I want to see that place in its heyday, you know?
Oh, definitely. I would just probably look, you know, like Pride Week is probably a big week, you know, out there. So I would definitely, you know, probably do a trip. I mean, that would just be great, you know?
Me and Taylor were talking about having a show there.
Atta boy.
We were drunk, middle of the morning, eating pizza. Bro.
What time did you guys go to bed?
Like late, like 1 or 2 or some shit. And it was like eating pizza, greasy ass fucking Pizza Hut. Like, bro, we should have a show here.
Yeah.
It'd be so sick.
It'd be so sick, dude.
You put some bikes in the maze.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Chain them up.
It was a bunch of whips. It's a cowboy themed.
Just had like dudes in like a leather, just like strapped to the wall when you walk through the maze. Like, oh, that's a sweet bagger. Oh, what the fuck is this gimp over here?
Yeah, Jesus Christ. That dude has assless chaps on right now, bro.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, we were driving around downtown going to lunch and or dinner, and man, I mean, this dude was so jacked, I was scared to take a picture of him.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you take a picture of him though?
No.
Oof.
I was scared. I mean, my camera's huge. It's like you're not like fucking
That's true, yeah.
You're not sneaking that motherfucker in there. This dude was yoked. Gay as fuck, dude. Like just the outfit was like there was no question. There was no like nah.
Gay,
dude.
Yeah.
And like he was the alpha.
Like he would rape you, pretty much. You know what I mean?
Pretty much. Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're going to get raped. If he likes your fancy, he's going to tickle it. You know what I mean?
have another one, sir.
Yeah.
But no, it was a good time. I honestly, when the racing stuff was pretty interesting. I hadn't been to a bagger racing league before.
I know. I was just telling someone today, I'm like, man, I don't understand how people can be motorcycle enthusiasts and not want to go and check that out because it's insane. You know, it's
pretty
fucking
dope.
nuts. I get it. It was far away. You know, there wasn't that many people, but dude, that is extremely talented. I mean, I'm like, fuck. I wish I could ride like that. God damn.
Yeah.
Bro. Following the fucking lines and all this other horse shit. I'm like, God, dog, dude. But yeah, I mean, it was a bit of a bummer that not that many people showed. But I mean, for what it was worth, I mean, the turnout was decent. You know?
Well, what do you like? You know, last year you guys went out to Sturgis. Like, what's kind of the move now? Like, are you still looking at elsewhere, getting out more? I mean, y'all did Arizona Bike Week. You know.
Yeah. You know, I'm definitely going to be doing Sturgis, Four Corners this year. Live Fast Rally. I mean, those are like some of the ones that are like just stapled, you know, like just good times. And then we're going to do West Coast Classic again, but we're not going to do it at a dealership. Our whole motto this last year into this year is like get out of the parking lot, you know, and like get someplace that's, you know, not a dealership.
Yeah.
You know, someplace that's like just a cool vibe. And, I mean, it's just really neat doing shows for ourselves and like having the amount of support that comes through. It's like still mind blowing sometimes. I'm like, damn, dude, you know, like we fucking did that, you know, or we're doing it. It's not like, you know, before too, you know, for myself, it was like I was doing the most, like especially here locally, you know what I mean? I was just like every bike night and I was over here, which was not saying anything bad. I mean, it got me to where I am really today, but it's like now I don't really necessarily have to do that. So it's like pick and choose what you do, you know?
Yeah.
But I would definitely like to travel further, like go east, you know? I mean, shit, this year it's going to be great. We're going to go to Texas.
Hell
That's already locked in. So,
bro, when all y'all come out and y'all start vibing with our crew, it's just going to be nothing but good times.
yeah, I'm excited for it.
You know?
I mean, dude, that whole thing, like you're just camping right there,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, yeah, I mean, it's born free, but it doesn't end.
Yeah.
You know, there's born free day and born free night.
Right.
You know what I mean? And they're two different events, you know, and it's as simple as like, you know, maybe there's definitely more partying going on at night, but there's also a campfire and some music playing and some lawn chairs. And there's that, you know what I'm saying? So there's like a lot of different ways you can enjoy it. That's not like, you know, you just have to get fucked up or you just have to do this or that, you know, like it's
You know
a
what
good
it
time.
reminded me of? Like a 90s vibe.
Yeah,
You know what I
it's
mean?
got
People
that.
like camping and I don't know, like motorcycles parked everywhere and shit. You know what I mean? I just the videos and pictures that I saw last year, I'm like, man, I definitely need to get the fuck out there.
I think for myself with the whole idea of it, I don't know why people are so like against doing things like camping and being at an event for a couple of days. It's like, yeah, I get it. We all want to shower. I want to shit somewhere very comfortable, you know, and you know, challenge yourself. Go figure out where you can solve these problems. You know what I'm saying?
Go dig a hole, dog. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's a nice Whataburger down the street, nice shitters.
Yeah.
You know, get you something to eat, get rid of it, go back to the campground, some dude wipes, you figure it out. Like it's
wipe yourself down real quick.
Yeah.
You know?
wipe me down.
Yeah.
But I think I just wish people would like embrace the way, like that simplistic way of doing it, instead of trying, complaining about spending money, but doing everything at the most expensive way possible.
Right.
I can do Sturgis sub like $600,
Yeah.
I ain't set up in no booth up there. That's for damn sure. But I'm there and I'm getting to meet people and stuff like that. And then you got to find a way. All right, well, if you do want to set something up and do a business there, then what's the next step up where I'm not exerting myself so much that I can't afford to be here or justify it, and you just figure it out from there, but you guys seem to be killing it with the clothing and the drops and, the LFG babe stuff. Like my wife loves that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it makes sense to kind of be there and have the merch in person so they can fucking take it home. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's cool, man, because, not everyone follows the page and knows what it is. So like having that, dialogue with people, they're like, what is this? Or what are you guys all about? And I always love saying the podcast portion, because I'm just so proud of my recovery.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like having guests like yourself and other cool people in the industry is just a bonus and plus, But it's like, every community and every place like has people that are sober. So it's like my, podcast is like for them, you know what I mean too.
Yeah.
So, but it is funny when people are like, yeah, what's LFG? I'm like, I don't know. I'm on Instagram. We're like, what's Instagram? I'm like, damn, Facebook. We're still on there too, buddy.
Yeah.
It's all good. But Sturgis is fucking so much fun, dude. Honestly, like last year was just, that was my first time really, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like getting out of the fucking county, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm serious. And
What's over that mountain?
And that was the thing too. It's like Taylor's like, I do this, this, and this, and I'm like, cool, I want to do it,
Yeah.
Like I want to tag along and do it. And then it's like just exploded into where we're doing now, But to go back what you're saying, like the clothing brand, to be honest with you, it was never supposed to be where it's at. You know what I mean? Like we thought it was just going to be a goof, and people were going to be like, oh, cool, let's fucking go. You know what I mean? And make fun of it, which they did. But it got to a point now to where, it's like I'm shipping stuff out across the world and I'm like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like Netherlands, what? And that's pretty wild to me. But my wife, she was like, yeah, you don't ever have anything cool for girls, like let me help out. I'm like, all right, cool. Like, what do you got? And she does not like the clothing brand aspect of it whatsoever. She just doesn't like get the drive and, she's just kind of like whatever, but she comes up with great shit,
Yeah.
And then screen printing it here just makes sense. We're just like, fucking do it. But it was still weird because there's a few people who are like, oh shit, you're doing women's stuff now, Like, well, there's a lot of women that fucking are in this industry, motherfucker.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A lot. So, but yeah, man, fucking the fact that we're even doing it together is pretty cool too,
Yeah, sharing it with her.
Yeah, just sharing. She's fucking, when she really is on it, like she has like these, she has a drive when she has something in her sights, you know what I mean? And like she was a TikTok sensation for like a week, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, it was.
I forget. I remember I learned about that. Like last time I was here or something like that. I was like, need to download that app, I guess.
Yeah, I know. But it's pretty cool, dude. LFG Babes is like really taking off too. So like I don't know, for people that are at events and they want to buy something for their old ladies, like it's pretty sick to fucking have something for them,
Yeah.
Instead of like the normal let's fucking go shirt.
I just imagine like having you guys out at in Sturgis, like on our hill, our Fast Life hill, like all lined up, and we all got these booths. It's just like they don't end.
Yeah,
it's just one big hang. And then you guys can teach me how to actually sell stuff because I suck at that. Yeah. I'm more like, let's get everybody over here. Here's the couch. Here's the fire pit.
Yeah,
there's endless beers over here, and then like, oh yeah, I got some stuff for sale over there.
Yeah. If you have beer, most of the time they're gonna be like, "Cool, let me buy a shirt now." Too,
Yeah.
Did you sell merch there at Texas last year?
Yeah. So this shirt I'm wearing is the shirt that I did last year. I'm in the process of figuring out how to do more stuff, but I don't know. I'm my own roadblock in that world.
For sure.
You know, I text you. I was like, hey man, I'm thinking about getting the screen printing shit, and I was like, fuck, dude. It's just another thing that I'd end up having to do, and I don't have time to do it. And it's not like, you know, yes, my wife could have possibly done it, but I don't want to spend all the money because I don't want to buy the cheap Amazon version of it. I want to buy a quality thing. That way I don't have to build into it, if you will.
Yeah.
And it's like, if she doesn't take to it, then now I have to do it because I said I'm going to put out a shirt, and
I mean, it makes it, if you're going to do it though, like
I don't have space too.
I mean, you would have the time, you know what I mean? You just make it and find it, but it's super difficult. Like we do so much, you know, but it's so much easier just to not deal with other people though, too, at the same time, man. I mean, that was my thing. It was like, I have major control issues, you know, and like I want things done at a certain time. And it was like, if you're going to tell me something like, yeah, this is going to be done at this time, I expect it, you know?
Yeah.
And I don't know, man. I think that was probably a downfall of, you know, of why I don't have partners, is because I was so headstrong, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, hey, we're going to fucking do this and we're going to do it right kind of thing, you know?
Yeah.
I have a lot of regret from that, but at the same time, it's like, man, a business is a business, you know what I mean? You got to treat it as such.
Yeah. No, that's 100% right. I mean, my friends know I'm a control freak, you know, and I don't want to be, but it's, at the end of the day, it's like if it's my investment or my deal and it fails, I can only be mad at myself.
Yeah.
You know, and I prefer it. You know what I mean? Like there's certain things I would love to have help in, but there's also things that I just don't want to let go of, you know? But whether it's control issues or whether it's just like just really wanting to make like, because there's things I would probably let somebody do that was like did that for a living. I'm like, yeah, I like what they do. Hell yeah, I'll let you do this. But you know, I don't know, man. It's just a weird place to be.
I mean,
you know?
You do everything yourself too. You know, your podcast, your editing, all that shit.
Devin helps. You know,
that's so much, man. How often are you painting?
Not enough to pay the bills. That's for damn sure. You know, I stay pretty consistent with paint, but. And like I said, I'm on this trip right now to collect podcasts to disperse over the next 2 or 3 months. And then it allows me to stay put so that I can get into a groove of painting and just put my nose down and just go to work for the next 3 months painting helmets. I have some big bikes that need to come out. I got bike builds I got to do. I've always got tons of helmets on the list. So it's like, I need to work and I need to just work.
Well, I mean, that's literally a blessing that you're able to do this though, because at the end of the day, this is your job too. So now you're traveling every year you do it. So there's that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, are you going to be out here for Born Free too or no?
No, that's why I'm doing this now.
Got it.
You know what I mean? I want to, trust me. It'll be the first time I missed Born Free since 2018. Yeah.
Yeah, you might not have a heat stroke because god damn, that was hot last year, boy.
Last year was hot. The year before was perfect.
Dude, I was like, what in the fuck is going on here, dude?
It's gnarly.
Yeah, but even like that event, you know, for me being like this small San Diego clothing brand, you know, and like going and having spots that are like unavailable, you know, and like getting blessed with a spot, you know.
So you got one now?
Yeah.
Hell, you had one last year?
I had one last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, dude, simple little things like, you know, like so Chip said on his story, he was like, hey, I have an extra spot for a vending, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like Chip is so big, dude, you know what I mean? You're in the deleted files, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're not friends with him, you know? And for whatever reason, he saw it and it's like, yeah, I got a spot for you. Boom. And then now it's like, I'm already in, you know?
Yeah.
Like
that's what I try to explain to people about Born Free, Cali, is it like they don't have space. So when there's an opening, you have to jump on it then.
Yeah.
You can't like wait till 2 weeks before the show and be like, I want to get a vendor space.
Yeah, yeah, it doesn't work that way.
You know? And then it's almost like you re-up your vendor space at the end of the show almost, you know?
Literally. Well, that's what's cool about Texas, right? I mean, that's going to be a big thing.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I mean, it's
right now it's like you can get a big ass space for a lot of time for not a lot of money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I already paid last year to go out there and blah, blah, blah. And some things didn't work out, but I'm like, that's how much it is. $350 for a whole vendor spot and my trailer too. I'm like, what?
Yep.
Come on, dude.
Yeah. It's not bad, dude.
Let's fucking go.
I think we've been talking about doing something really big for the pre-party with like Taylor and get you involved and you know, the pre-parties in Dallas. And I think it'd be dope to have like all you guys out there to help, you know, build that pre-party aspect to another level. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, last year was like kind of short notice, right? Then
Yeah.
Like now that you're involved with it too, so man, the sky's the limit.
Well, I've been involved in the pre-party since it started, but you know, it was one of those times that Taylor called me in the middle of the night going, hey, I was like, oh, you know what? What if you did the fucking bike trophies for the bike show at Strokers on the pre-party?
Yeah.
And then it was like, he was trying to get it done, get time off work and all that other stuff.
Right.
And then I think you were trying to come out no matter what, but then the West Coast Classic was like right there. How is like with the idea of trying to get it out of the parking lot, like what's some of the moves that's been made this year, like between y'all?
Well, we had this Pan Am event, right? That's
you know,
right. And it was at Blackmore Ranch, and like that, obviously, like that was a light bulb. It's like, man, we can do an event and have it not at a dealership and still get people that were going to want to come in and sponsor it and blah, 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 you know? So, you know, we're thinking about maybe possibly doing that West Coast Classic there this year just because
sick.
the place is super immaculate. I mean, not to mention too, if you're a motorcycle enthusiast, like, you know, dirt bike and all this stuff, that's like literally a museum. You know what I mean? And not that many people are able just to like pop up there and, you know, go and hang out.
Yeah.
But, dude, the guy's Jeff Blackmore is one of the sickest dudes, man. He's like, oh, you do a podcast? He's like, cool, I would like to come on. I'm like, really? Like, I was just gonna do like a recap, you know what I mean, with two of my homies that were there, and he was like, no, I'll come on, and then we just chopped it up hard, you know, and he told, you know, me it's a whole life story basically how he got started. But there's that podcast bond, you know what I mean? Like, you really get to know someone after you have you just start asking those deep questions, not even deep, but just like something that maybe when you meet somebody you want to ask, you know?
Yeah, for sure. No, it's rad. I mean, like you said, that whole, you know, I heard Gabe and, you know, Taylor kind of talking about it, like, you know, we got to get outside of the parking lot and then, you know, or just get out of the parking lot. Like, I was like, okay, yeah, that's cool. I didn't really like register deeply like what it meant and like there's a lot to it. It's a very convoluted like statement to make, I guess is the right way to put it. But it makes sense. Like, you want to get, you know, doing something at a dealership parking lot solves a couple problems because dealerships always want events at their place. It helps bring people in the doors. But then again, it's like, okay, well, because it is easy to do, does that devalue what we're making here? And if we put this somewhere else, like at an event or a event space or out where you're talking, does it open the door to be a taken seriously? Like, this is on our calendar. We're getting a hotel. We're going to this spot to show the bike or hang out or do whatever, you know? I think it comes off more serious, so more people take it more serious. Right. You know?
Yeah, I mean, the first conversations that we were having, it was like, yeah, we're just going to have like a cool event for the homies. And like now me and Taylor are like, no, this is a thing. Like, this could be a thing for the end of the year for everyone, you know? So we have to have a good enough space, I think, to where it's like, damn, this is legit. It's funny, like Gabe, that's obviously where I got it from too, you know, and from like, you know, whining to, you know, him and shit. He's like, you guys just got to get out of the parking lot. And I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, the fucking dealership stuff is fucking, you know, dumb. You know what I'm saying?
Fucking crickets over here.
Yeah, dude. I'm like, fucking Alcatraz love call, dude.
Boy, loose over there.
Yeah. Palm Springs. Take me back, baby. It's those Modelos, dude.
Yeah, they fucking...
It's funny because I heard it and you went like this. I'm like, oh, cool. You just farted on the show. That's sick.
It wasn't me. That was him.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Have you farted on a podcast yet?
Oh, yeah. Dude.
Like loud?
No.
Dude. Somebody's fucking raping dogs over there.
I told you, bro. Welcome to East County, dude. You know what I mean? I offered to shut the garage door. You said, fuck it. I said, all right, cool. I can't believe that not one siren has gone off. So like, that's amazing.
What's so...
Yeah, no gunshots, no
They
sirens.
don't really pop guns like they used to in the 80s and 90s. I feel like gunshots are a thing of the past.
Yeah, if you hear a gunshot, you're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
You know? It ain't 4th of July, so somebody's getting shot.
Too many cameras be popping off like rounds in the sky, you know what I mean?
I know. What a fucking crazy world we live in with cameras just everywhere.
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah, all the time.
So you're from this area though, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what was it like growing up here? Just hard?
I mean, for me, it was pretty hard because we lived pretty poor, you know? So, I mean, it was weird. Like, my grandmother's house was in, San Diego, and that was like the real like safe spot, right? Mm-hmm. And then I moved to Ramona, which is the next town up from Lakeside, and man, it was just rough, just fucking rough. And it was like a culture shock, and I was like a city boy moving into the country, so to say the least. Like, there's a lot of fights, I got beat up a lot, you know what I mean? And I got bullied a lot. I was like a skinny little kid, man. I was like a sink or swim, you know what I mean? Like, but I think that really like how my story goes is like, once my parents got divorced, like something clicked and happened. Like, I witnessed everything, and I think that's when like my behavior started to happen, because my addictive personality started at a really young age of like lying. And you know what I mean? Like, the first time that I ever puked and got drunk, I was like 5 years old.
Damn.
Like, I remember, you know what I mean? It was New Year's at my grandparents' house, and I drank champagne, and I'm like, fuck, I feel good. Bop, threw up.
That's wild.
Stealing stuff, and so I mean, when I think about it, it's like that place is a great place probably, but for me it was like hell. It took me the longest time like to even like be comfortable to go through the town again.
Yeah,
because I would have like just anxiety and be like, fuck, man, like I did so much shit here.
How much of your life were you going through it? You know what I'm saying?
Probably from like 7 until 34.
For real?
So I got clean this last time at 34, and like that was pretty much where I was just like, damn. Like, I've said this 1,000 times on my podcast, but it's always good for a reminder for myself. It was like I was incarcerated this last time, and my bunkie was like this old tweaker dude that was a river bottom gangster, right? And he was already in there. He got cleaned up. He was like, looking healthy for the best way a tweaker can look healthy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Getting some food. And he left, and within like 30 days, he came back, and he just looked like fucking a disaster. And for whatever reason, I had that fucking boom. You know what I mean? I'm like, that's me. And that was like that first chance. It was the first time I actually felt like surrender. You know what I mean? To where I'm like, dude, this is going to be my life if I keep doing this, because I'm not good at anything that I'm doing out there. You know what I mean? I'm not a good thief. I'm not a good drug user. You know what I mean? I don't have no fucking hustle. You know what I'm saying? Like, as much as I thought that I did not,
Yeah.
And so it was just like, man, fucking, I got to go. And I've tried to get clean and sober before, and my mom, she was like, in a very kind way, she's like, man, I spent $30,000 on you for a treatment center. You know what I mean? And you still got high. But I was forced to a county funded place like in downtown San Diego. You know what I mean? And like, that's where I got clean. She's like, I'm great. I'm soaked that you're clean, but like, fucking, you owe me 30 grand. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
But so like, even that, like being an East County kid, right? Like living in the country and having space. Now I'm in downtown San Diego. I'm taking trolleys, buses, like all this shit that was so fucking foreign, dude. I felt like I was in a different country.
So you felt like it was kind of you got taken away from it, thrust out here, and then taken away from this and thrust back into that environment where you kind of almost forgot what it was like being in the city?
For sure. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and I mean, I ended up staying. I lived in the Barrio Logan for like 5 years, dude. Like, that's like, we're like, have you been down there? You should, because the murals that they have down there by the bridge are fucking incredible.
When I came out here the last time when I flew out, like he took me through some tours of things, and then but nowhere I couldn't regurgitate like where I've been and what I've seen. Right. He showed me one area that's, what was that, like where all the Mexican murals and stuff are?
That's it. That's Barrio Logan.
Yeah, that's pretty badass. Yeah.
So I lived down there, and that's where like LFG kicked off too. So it's kind of funny, you know what I mean? Like, we started, and that's where the house that after my sober living that I lived at for a year, we got a house right there. Me and my boy Frank, and man, dude, Crazy, dude. Like culture shock.
What? This might be a little bit deep for it, but like, what was life like while you were using them? I mean, was it just a constant like fixed thing, or did you have moments of clarity where you were like was there any functionality in you at all? Like where you had like a job or a relationship or things like that, or?
Yeah, no. So, as soon as I can maintain alcohol and cocaine and even pills, you know, I would still work, you know, like the downfall didn't happen until I started using heroin, you know? So once I started using heroin, then I tried meth and it was like, fucking say goodnight, you know, it was off and running. So everything that I had was like, I mean, I still had some stuff. Like I still had a pad, you know what I mean? And you know, I had a crime partner, you know what I mean? That's a girlfriend that, you know, we would do crime and shit together and try to get dope, you know? But, yeah, it was funny. Like I can maintain, dude, like drinking, like no problem. Like I'd be on a construction site and I would always have 18 pack in my cooler, like every day. You know what I mean? Hoping that one of the dudes on the job has like some cocaine that we can snort, you know? If not, I'd be popping pills. But man, that heroin, I tried it for the first time and it was like, later, dude. Fucking gone. But I'm grateful, dude, because I don't think that I would be alive. Like this fentanyl pandemic that they have or epidemic, whatever the fuck. Like it's so bad to where these addicts now are just like, all right, cool. So Jace, you try, Taylor, you're going to have the, whatever the fuck it is, Narcan, thank you. And who, you know, if you fucking fall out, I'm going to save your life. And then I'll get high. You know what I mean? These motherfuckers are doing that. It's fucking wild behavior, dude. Like there's places that literally sell like test drug, you know, like a test drug thing. So like you can test your drugs. Like I was never that addict. You know what I mean? I would never test my shit. I'd be like fucking Hoover, dude. You know what I mean? Put that shit on the table and I'm snorting it. It don't fucking matter what it is. But yeah, man, I think about it often though, man, because it's like I'm never far away from that addict still, no matter what. Like I'm not far away from that, you know? Like I have a good awareness of like what happens. I've done enough research for myself to be like, I know that I can't drink because I end up in handcuffs every fucking time. Every time. And I immediately just start doing the dumbest shit. You know what I mean? Like my thing, you know what my thing was? Fucking
don't say espresso martinis, please.
No. Like getting my license suspended and just getting caught all the time, dude. And like doing stupid little turnaround in jail. Get my shit impounded and I'm doing a 5-day. And then I'm doing a 10-day. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's just fucking just chaos, dude.
It was always wild because it was like, for lack of a better term, guys like you were the ones that were like, that it wouldn't stick. Like, and then the one that had to, you know, do whatever to kind of like make it right. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like I had a lot to lose and I'm not really out here breaking the law, but if I'm like trying to get away with like driving out a license or whatever, you get just hemmed up and all the tickets pile up and it would be like, fuck, man, like I got to pay all this stuff. And you're like, you're changing your life to just stay afloat. And then meanwhile, dudes out there just running wild, fucking like, they're not even going to, you have too many of these cases on you already. You know what I mean?
I call those guys like cockroaches.
Yeah.
Because literally, man, like, I mean, you can just go drive around this town too and you can see them, man. It's the people that are just seasoned veteran drug users, man. You know what I mean? And I think that I was blessed with consequences, dude. Yeah. You know what I mean? And obviously I had a conscience, dude, but I was like stuffing that with, you know, drugs.
Yeah. I mean, I've never done anything like that, but is the high more?
Well, you are close to TJ, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like we can go see the Donkey Show and go get some heroin right now.
I'm good. I'm good.
All right. I mean, the offer's good. You want to go, Taylor?
It's I mean, it just seems like I guess the question or the whatever, I guess I grew up around so much drugs in a sense. Probably not as much as you. Sorry.
Yeah, a lot.
I'm getting the giggles with all this beer.
That's my fucking, I won, dude. That's what I'm talking about. You ready to fuck
I'm
or
trying,
what?
You're a homie and I like want to talk shit, but it's like serious stuff.
Let's talk shit, dude. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, come on in, dude. There's plenty of room. Water's getting warm.
Yeah, I keep peeing in it. No, fuck, I lost my train of thought of that one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, yeah, okay. So
I mean, what's a lot of drugs?
that's what I'm saying. Like, probably not as much as you have
Yeah.
or you were fucking with, but like drugs kind of ran through my family, and my uncle was in and out of jail. My mom had an issue. My dad went to jail for, cocaine, and at least cocaine. I don't know. Like, well, he went to jail because he got caught with it, and then he failed a couple tests, right? But I guess I witnessed all that shit growing up to the point where it just kind of pushed me away from it at all costs. And so I didn't even, I've said it a million times, I never drank till I was 29. I never smoked a cigarette in my fucking life. And the first time I ever smoked weed was when I met my wife, because she was a junkie, No, she smoked a lot of weed. That was her thing. And I dabbled in like the psychedelic stuff because, I wanted to use it for mind expansion, but like, I'm not really, there's nothing else that really like floats my boat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I don't see there's not a part of me that looks at like heroin or a lot of that shit like, fuck yeah, I want to try that.
Right.
Or that looks sick. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
So that's why it's like I don't know. It's just kind of like, I never really understood the draw. It just wasn't,
Yeah, I think that you probably had some good people around you though too, possibly.
Yeah, so I wonder, like with you, was it just like a
I'm not saying I didn't.
It's a psychological thing, right? That pushes you down those paths, huh?
Yeah, it's like I still had good people around me, but I pushed them away.
Oh.
You know what I mean? So I think it just like it's all behaviors, dude. It's all behaviors, and I had like a big chip on my shoulder and a bunch of fuck yous, you know what I mean, and a bunch of poor me's, you know what I mean, for sure. But yeah, I mean, honestly, like there was the girl, you know what I mean, and she would pop pills, and at the end of the day, it was like my decision, right? But like, man, it was like, oh, yeah, you threw up. Well, you're not doing enough, you know what I mean, and shit. Like it was fucked up. You know what I mean? I'd throw up and like grab pills that I just threw up and put them back in my mouth. You know what I mean? Like dope fiend shit.
Coming out of all this, so like how was the transition getting back into like life, like getting normal as far as like relationships, family and shit like that?
Well, I think the change of like familiar place where I was living, like just that change in that culture, like that was like much needed. I was able to like see things differently, and I think just humbling myself, really. Just like my first job was pushing carts at Home Depot at 34. And I'm like, man, I should be doing this. You know what I mean? I should be and that was like the thing too. Like it was that poor me stuff to where I was like, man, I should already be so far ahead and I should already be doing all these things.
It sounds like it was your ego that was pushing you into doing this stuff in the first place. And it was your ego trying to tell you that this road to recovery was beneath you, almost. It sounds like.
Yeah, no, I mean, my family members, they were like, you never trust a man that don't drink. You know what I mean? Yeah. So like that was my whole upbringing. You know what I mean? Like to where it was like, fuck, you're an addict. What the fuck is that? Yeah, I'm like the only like real identified addict in my family, besides like there's clearly addiction,
Yeah.
But like I think that I'm the first one that's like stepped up and been like, no, I got a fucking problem, But yeah, to go back to what you're saying, like it took a long time, man. Like, and it still takes time right now. Like being in a relationship, is like one of the hardest things ever because I'm very selfish, self-centered, and like very control freak, Yeah. So like having that. And then being married to an addict too, that has those same sort of flaws. So it's like, there was a lot of, struggle, It's just, being like a normal human being. Like, I'm like, man, what is that like?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, what is that like to have just a normal fucking relationship, even with like another person, and I come to find out, like, I really never even had that, But I don't know, man. It just takes time, and then honestly, it takes what it takes. You know what I mean? Like at 34 years old, like at the bottom of the barrel, like this was my life, and like getting forced into a a place, you know, in downtown San Diego where there's like homeless everywhere and people still smoking crack and fucking meth, whatever, you know, and I'm like, damn, this is where my addiction has led me, you know what I mean, to this fucking halfway house shit.
You didn't have any kids during this time, did you?
I did.
You did?
Yeah. I have a 20-year-old, but I lost her in my addiction.
Damn.
Yeah. So,
sucks.
Yeah, big time. And, you know, I'm thankful that her mom is fucking a lot better than me, you know, and raised her right. And, you know, I tried reaching out. So we'll just see what happens, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
I know that at least I want to think like every kid, you know, wants to know their parent, you know? So,
yeah.
I mean, I've worked, so, you know, in the program that I'm in, like we work steps and we work on our insides, you know, to try to be prepared for things that are going to be very uncomfortable. That way we don't use again.
Yeah, relapse.
Right.
Yeah.
So I worked a lot around that particular situation, you know, with her, like what's that going to look like when she comes and says, fuck you, or whatever the case may be, you know, like, how am I going to react to it? You know? But yeah, the moment that she turned 18, I saw that she was on social media and I'm like, DM'd her and reached out to her and she said, block. But I'm like, you know what? At least the message was there, right?
Yeah.
You know, so look at, like, definitely not proud of who I was, you know what I mean? But I'm damn sure proud of who I am now. So it's like, I want somebody to know that.
Yeah. You know, the kid thing, it feels like a lot of them in their 20s, it's easy to shove trauma down. You know, but it's like one of those things that I think that, and I learned this through my wife and what she's dealt with. It's like, it all comes back to the surface. You know what I mean? It all eventually, whether you're in a comfortable place in life where you're not fight or flight anymore, it's like all those traumas come back and you got to deal with it.
Yep.
And if you're consistent and there and able to, you know, show like a consistency with your sobriety. Sorry, I'm like fucking. The air down here sucks.
That's that good East County air, bro.
It's that in and out air. I think that like it'll open the door for that possibility, you know?
Yeah. Well, that's the hope, but I have to also be okay with it not happening, you know? Yeah. So, you know, there's no such thing as like do-overs, you know what I mean? Like you just make your life better. At least that's my thought process, you know?
Yeah.
And the things that I'm doing right now, I mean, I'm having babies at 44. You know, I have a beautiful wife and we're having this family, you know what I mean? And it's like all these things that I'm having now, that's what I dreamt of. And I just didn't know, you know?
Yeah.
I just thought that fucking doing dope was cool, you know? I mean, I wish I was the type of guy that can just like drink some beer with the homies, you know what I mean? But I'm like, no,
yeah, but I mean,
let's get some fucking Coke.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like fucking, let's go to Tijuana. You know what I mean? Like it happens that fast. You know what I'm saying?
The thing is that like, I don't feel like people are missing out on drinking. They might be missing out on, you know, an aspect of it, but it doesn't, I feel more blocked through it mainly a lot. Like I feel like it, you know, maybe when I was younger, and I guess this is why everybody else like, yeah, I can't drink like I used to. It's like, yeah, I just can't, man. Like I feel like I can go on a bender for a while and then I'll got to recover for like a month.
I feel like you're going to be sober.
I think I will
because you've talked about it way too much. Seriously. Yeah. Like I feel like you have that, like even more so than Taylor. You know what I mean? Like
I think
Taylor's like I'm a fucking have a bender and I'm like, holy shit, I need to stop drinking. You know what I mean?
It is like Instagram name Bender or something.
Yeah.
Okay. I do feel like I will. It's kind of like I think that I have like addictions to other things that aren't like necessarily substance or alcohol. I have just an addictive personality to like work or like whatever, like tunnel, like I guess the word is also like autism. Mm-hmm. Like I can hyper focus on like, no, it's like a fucking thing, dude. Look, I'm retarded.
Yeah.
So, no, well, I don't know what the fuck I got. I'm like a patient zero of ADHD and all that other bullshit, whatever it is. But the thing is that like I need something to replace that with, you know what I mean? And I think a lot of it's out of boredom. And how else do I celebrate a good time or a bad time? You know what I mean? And celebrating a bad time is kind of like just being trapped in your thoughts, you know, not that I'm ever really been to drown myself in sorrows, but more so like, you know what, today fucking sucked. I need a fucking beer just to chill out.
Yeah.
Like calm my nerves, my mind and all that type of stuff. And then on a good day, it's like, fuck man, today was awesome, dude. I want to remember this somehow, you know? And it's like, it's not necessarily like any kind of justification or like whatever you would call it, but it's just a I want to get into a lot of other things, and I feel like alcohol or drinking is starting to take more of my days. You know what I mean? Like not just the time I did it, but the day afterwards. Even though I don't feel like I'm not hungover, I'm still not productive. I'm still not, my brain's not firing. And that's where I'm starting to kind of like feel, oh shit. Before I'd get drunk and fucked up and the next day I go paint an amazing bike. Right. You know? And I'm like, hell yeah, this is sick. Yeah. I can do it all. Yeah. I don't feel like I can do that anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the older that we get too, man, it just, you know, it weighs down on our shit, you know? Yeah. But I think that, you know, you just said it perfectly. Like people are in fear of getting sober because they don't know what they're going to do. Yeah. You know what I mean? But like, you just find different things, you know, like I've become like a passionate and compassionate person. You know what I mean? Like, especially around friends, you know what I mean?
What about drunk sex? How do you do drunk sex when you're not?
Yeah. Dude, some of the best sex I've ever had has been sober.
Oh, for real?
For sure.
Oh shit. I need to try that.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Like,
Taylor, you a drunk sex guy or a sober sex guy?
What do you prefer? Damn it. Get this guy a microphone, goddammit.
I prefer the sex part.
Yeah, to be honest, man, like, I remember plenty of times being fucked up and having sex, and I'm like, this is fucked up, dude. You know what I mean? I wasn't that great, too. Oh, hell yeah. My God. Well, it's funny. My wife and I talk about this often, right? Because we're both addicts. So I'm like, man, I'm telling you right now, we would not work out if we were drinking together. I'll tell you, because we're both hard-headed motherfuckers, you know? So it's like, that's a good push to like, you know, be with someone that's in recovery too, to be like, dude, we can't be together. Like, there's no way. Yeah. We'd end up killing each other, you know?
Yeah, it's tough, man. Yeah, I'm on that fence. You know, I think it's just a matter of like, I'll know when is when, you know, or, I don't know. Like it's kind of like paying my taxes. I know I need to do it, but I'm just like trying to see how much longer I can go. How much more can I get away with? Yeah.
Do I really need to pay him this year?
I mean, I'm not going to jail or anything, right? Right. Like, all right, we're good. Yeah. You know? So yeah, it's just one of those deals, but.
Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to it, you know?
No, it'll be fun. Maybe. Hope.
I don't know. I mean, listen, for me, you know, I just, I already know it's the best thing that I've ever done.
Yeah, for sure.
So, and you're not, you weren't at where I was at. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. When you're done, you'll figure it out. If not, you know, you won't. You know what I mean? Because you're not waking up every day and fucking wanting to drink, you know?
Yeah. Like I said, the one thing that really is, I think would be the absolutely not is if I was able to get sober long enough to experience this like thing that I keep hearing about, how this mental clarity and all this other shit, like if I could experience that and I noticed it, I would 100% probably cold turkey, like no fucking problem. Right. You know? Like I said, I've never been tempted into a lot of things that might have been awesome, but I need to see the difference. I need to feel the difference. I'd probably work out more if I could actually see it and feel it more. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. You start thinking about your health immediately. Yeah. You know, but I mean, the clarity part, man, like going on rides. I mean, you've traveled so much too, where you're not drinking and riding, so you understand that part of it. But like, there's like a whole different vibe. Like when you're just doing like a huge ride.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And like for me, it was like I never even noticed. It's so funny. Like I've heard this 1,000 times with people too. When they get sober, it's like, oh my God, I can hear the fucking birds chirping. It's not the ones at 3 a.m., you know, and like the sun and the sky is blue. And like, you know, for so long, it was like, holy shit, man. Like fucking Yosemite is fucking insane.
Yeah.
You know, like just massive amounts of respect for it.
Yeah. It's you being in nature is always humbling. You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't know. Like I'm open minded to it, but I just don't know what that looks like, and I don't know.
Oh, it's coming, Jace. I know you're gonna be sober, dude. Yeah, sober, Jace. Come on.
There we go.
Hey, what are we gonna do, guys? We're going to Dallas. Well, I don't know. I'm sober now, so we're just gonna hang out here.
I'm not hoping you guys to tell me. We can go see the JFK thing, I think. Or, pretty much.
Yeah.
It's not that, I mean, I don't know why. I mean, I get it. You know, everybody wants to go see the JFK memorial or where he got shot, but it's like, I don't know. I don't get I get how important he was as a president and how symbolic all this was, but it's not like you're seeing like some Mayan ruins or some shit. Like it's just an X on the ground.
You're just seeing something that everybody has spent their lives, they've seen it.
Yeah.
Everybody's seen that video. So see a person.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is where the CIA fucking killed a president. Like sick.
Confirmed.
Yeah.
Confirmed.
No, it's confirmed.
It's
dude.
confirmed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Don't trust the government.
They've been releasing those files, man.
Yeah. Big time. Yeah, it's pretty crazy, man. Like honestly, like we can put on the tinfoil hat right now and just go down this for another hour, but the government is fucked up.
Oh yeah.
It is fucked up.
Yeah, he works for him. He's the one that's gonna come and take our shit whenever martial law happens.
Yep. It makes you wonder, like, do you think there really is aliens? Have we gone on the moon? Or is this just a big fucking, distraction?
I feel like if we're doing tinfoil hat shit, I 100% think we went to the moon. I don't think the footage that is recorded is from the moon.
Yeah.
I think that they just went there and then like went back and filmed the shit or whatever. Dude, they were doing some wild shit. They were just fucking like doing LSD and be like, yo, I got it.
Yep, I got it. Nailed it.
They won't even fucking know, dude.
Yeah, dude.
How are they gonna know?
Yeah, we're just gonna video this right now. And
the alien thing is weird. It's weird because if you think about it, the way that it's been kind of getting talked about more, and there's more sightings and more this and more that, it's a slow drip to like, you're like, oh, is there? You want it to be a black and white, a cut and dry.
Sure.
But it's a graduation, a slow process from white to black, right? So we want white to black. There's aliens. This is fucking, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like seriously, like bust open. Let's see the fucking goddamn aliens that you guys supposedly have.
What they're doing, and it makes sense, is to be like, is to leak footage, then make it feel like, oh, it's not real. And then there's more and there's more. And that way, whenever it does come, when they do just land and be like, yo, we're like, oh shit. Like, I kind of thought, here's the money, the bet, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not as hard. You know what I mean? It's kind of like if they came out blatantly and said, yes, the CIA killed Kennedy. How much do you think that's going to change the day for a lot of people? Probably not much, because it's either people already believe it and think it, so it's not going to be that much of a life altering event, as opposed to, I still think the alien thing is probably going to need another 20 years or so before it does, but eventually it's just going to be like, oh yeah, I figured that, So I don't know.
I want to see the bodies. That's all, because I'm like, you know what, these motherfuckers have been flying drones for a long motherfucking time.
Oh yeah.
But there is like there are people like, we have all this now, you know what I mean? And like this was
a big jump.
This was found on an aircraft, you know what I mean? Like, cause if you think about it, like we grew up in the 80s, right? This is a whole different world that we're living in now, boy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like just from that that time to now. I mean, even like our parents, like, what the fuck? That's just wild as fuck.
I mean, honestly, if you think about technology as a whole, from the moment of the combustion engine and the industrial revolution and oil and all that stuff, to even like the 50s, you know, so we're like 50 years, the progress has been like very slow drip, you know, steam engines,
right.
You know, the car is there, but the technology is really just not there yet, you know. And then all of a sudden in the 50s, like it just like was a massive jump. And it was a massive jump, I think, from just a engineering standpoints. And some of that could have been because we got some Nazi scientists and stuff like that.
For sure.
But when it starts to get into computers and technology, that's where, like, where does that even come from? You know what I mean? Like, that's the one thing that I don't see a big explanation of. How do you go from a mechanical world and like 12-volt wires going through circuits and, you know, turning a light bulb on, to all of a sudden, you know, things like power surges turning into like, you know, ones and zeros and turning that into information on a computer chip. Like, that's who the fuck invented it? And there probably is a whole YouTube video on it. I just never. You're asking me now, and I'm like, I'm digging deep in the back of my head to figure.
I'm telling you, man, we got the fucking hat on, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You start putting that fucking tinfoil hat on, we can start cooking over here, dude.
What you got?
I'm just in general. Like, we can just go down the rabbit hole, dude.
Are you like an Alex Jones guy or what?
No. I mean, it's
they're turning the frogs gay.
But here's the thing, man. Like, honestly, like, I go back and forth with it. Like, is there really aliens or is it a distraction? Because I used to be a firm fucking believer. Like, there's aliens for sure, you know. But like, the more we unravel some things and we find out that the government has just been fucking playing us. Like, the newest one is the CIA had everything to do with, you know, September 11th.
Yeah.
Fucking what? For wars, you know what I mean? I mean, that's that same thing. Like, there's a show on Netflix right now about JFK, but it's also talking about what is it? The goddamn war, Vietnam.
Vietnam, yeah.
You know what I mean? And like how basically he was shot because he didn't want to go to war, and people really wanted to push for it. You know what I mean? So
it's the Eisenhower speech, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know that? The war.
You do. Wow. Well, you know what somebody asked me the other day? So do you think that Hitler actually killed himself? I'm like, I don't think so. I think he got away and went to Argentina personally.
Yeah, that's what I think too, probably.
Right. Right.
Too much stuff built up there. The Naco house.
Yeah.
All that stuff. Like.
Yeah. Dude, I think it's funny when people are actually like disagreeing with people and like finding the source and like the real truth behind it, because you're like, we've been lied to like a lot, dude.
Yeah.
Like, are we fucking really that dumb?
Well, I mean, with this being the internet age, like, we are able to get a lot of different information that's been sourced by other people like that. And it's harder and harder to lie. And I mean, you see that unraveling in our government where they're literally, you know, whether you feel like what's happening with our president is good or bad or whatever, it's hard to like, it's hard to like be in this world where you have like grown ass people who you feel like we're all in the same country together. We're all about the same progressive goals collectively, are fighting so hard and so childishly against each other that you're like, what is really going on? It feels like whatever strings are being pulled, they're all pawns and puppets of it. And the shit's way back in the top. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, the aliens didn't work. Let's make them all fight against each other.
Right.
Make them, you know, give them the illusion of power, the illusion of free will, and let them all fight. Meanwhile, they're fucking getting their caves ready for the fucking asteroid that's probably going to hit and fuck this world up. And we're just like sitting here trying to do TikTok dances and fucking,
exactly.
you know, figure out how to, you know, do whatever. And it's like that's what's scary to me is like, there's just too much that's like behind closed doors. And with the internet opening up so much information to so much of the world, it just makes you realize that there's so much more that's still a secret.
Totally.
And then when you realize, especially as you get older, you know, when you're 15, 20, 25, I think you always have the idea that older people have it figured out.
Yeah.
Shit's cool, man.
Yeah.
Like, these roads exist. airplanes stay up there for the most part until this year, up in the sky. And then, things just work. Yeah. And then when you become like the age of the people that are running the country, you're like, fucking Bill's running that shit over there. Like, Bill was a fuck up in high school.
He's a fucking idiot.
How is he pulling that shit off?
Right.
I'm never getting on Amtrak. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
never.
So it's like you get older and you like realize that, oh, these people are all like just people.
Yeah.
Some people might be smarter at certain things, but like doesn't mean that they're all like have the level of competence to like do this shit. So like, what the fuck's going on? You know what I mean?
I think the biggest mystery of all of it is how the fuck did the pyramids get built?
I got that one figured out. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm going to tell you right now, man, like that's why there was a whole different fucking world before the one that we live in. That has to be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, it could be. I mean, that very well could be, or it could have been just some other civilization that was like way fucking smarter and better than us or some shit, because their little myth of what they're saying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, come on, dude.
I try not to think about the pyramids that much,
bro. But you kind of have to, because that's like a focal point. You're like, how the fuck, you know what I mean? Before they crucified Jesus, the pyramids were there.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, how in the fuck they were riding donkeys? You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, then, like, how do we talk about dinosaurs, dog?
Well,
because I mean, dinosaurs, like
that was proof.
I mean, there's proof, yeah, but like, that's another one. Like, okay, well, we have these buildings that have these infrastructures in there. I mean, they are sophisticated when we're thinking about sophistication for, like, thousands of years ago, people, like, whatever. I mean, obviously, if there was a advanced civilization, it would make sense. But like, the structures, even if they were just complete limestone or whatever they were made out of, and they were smooth and they look like these amazing things, like the inside just seems very crude. Like the structures on the inside seem very crude for whatever technology they're trying to say. Why build such massive things that have such small capacity within it? Right. You know what I mean? You would think it would serve a different purpose for its space and things like that. And then why is nothing else in existence? Or are those the only things they built that were half-ass able to stand up? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's like the only thing that were able to.
Sphinx is understood, right? That's the Sphinx is a tomb for, and then the other pyramids, the other smaller ones were built kind of like, oh, well, shit, I guess this is what we do. And they, So it's, I mean, I get, and I'm just glossing over the very small knowledge I have over it, but like, it doesn't like push my button like, oh shit, how did that happen? As much as like, how the fuck did we get here? Like the stars, that shit. Like that's where I get like, I get scared. You know what I mean?
Well, my wife would say now, because she's a firm believer in Jesus, that's how that happened.
Yeah.
Like there's it's absolutely insane. Like to think about it, because I'm like, man, we're all just aliens. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we're all sent here. You know what I mean? Like God is an alien. You know what I mean? Like he created all this shit, because what the fuck? But then I'm like, I don't know. I mean, it's a mind fuck. It's literally a mind fuck.
The desire to know things is what creates the desire for us to create things and go down those paths. So being inherently like baked into our psychology to,
hey, how you doing?
Oh shit. I'll fuck with that.
Damn. Come on with it.
Don't mind the rabbit hutch in the back of the truck. Okay?
A rabbit hutch, huh?
Free.
Just taking stuff.
Come on, babe. Like, this is why I knew you shouldn't have went. You know what I mean? Because this is just too much bullshit now.
It was free.
What is that? Oh,
damn, dude.
Fucking juicy.
Who bought the pizza?
Whose pizza is this?
Whose pizza is this?
Oh, fuck.
Oh, that shit is fucking hot, bro.
Ow.
Yeah. He said, ow.
Ouch. Well, there's a lot going on.
Ow.
There's a lot going on. We should probably wrap this one up. And,
I mean, hey, look at man. I appreciate it.
Dude, I want you and Taylor to come out, and the next podcast we do together is in the studio at the shop.
That'd be cool. Because I was going to say, man, your fucking studio is beautiful, bro. You know what I mean?
It's a
But
nice
I made it to the show, boys.
It's a nice garage, baby.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we're done here, dude. It's a fucking shop. Cut it. Cut the camera.
No, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I do want to dive more into just like everything you got going. And it's kind of hard to get like super deep when we have like two clowns sitting here.
I know.
You know what I mean?
I know. Yeah.
But I do
Clown, a
appreciate
wife
it.
just pulls up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it brings
Makes
a
the scene,
fucking
yeah.
pizza, dude. But I do appreciate everything you're doing and
Yeah,
putting out there. And I love seeing this community grow down here in San Diego and
Yeah.
SoCal in general. And I'm stoked seeing you be a part of it and a big pusher of it. You know what I'm saying? So
Appreciate that. I'm
Yeah.
stoked to be here.
love you, bro.
Love you too.
Oh yeah.
Let's go.